Good, John.
What's going to happen tonight? Right in the middle of the interview. Goodbye.
We have time tonight. How you doing?
I saw the little piece, though. You did part of it, yeah.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah.
When did you first get the idea to go ahead with something like the Coconut Ballroom?
1949. Believe that?
Back in the
It was one of the greatest events in my life. Was in 1949 when I was singing with Freddy Martin's band, and we came to play the Steel Pier on the 4th of July holiday. And I mean, that was such a big deal in Atlantic City. We played at the end of the Steel Pier where the dance place was. The theater was in the front where all the stars were. We were in the dance part at the end, and on that weekend, 150,000 people passed through and danced. It was wide open to the public. And when I came in on Resorts, I thought, gee, wouldn't that be a great event to recreate 40 years later? And so we did. And it was the beginning of the July 4th event that I do here, which ends in fireworks on Sunday night.
Your roots are in this music. You've had a successful career, never really losing touch with it. But when you come back and do a show like this, do you kind of feel the full circle?
You really do. I mean, you never, I don't know if it's brainwashing or what that thing is, that those 4 years with the Freddy Martin Band, for me, which was 48 to 52, riding in a bus every single night of our life, playing a different ballroom every single night, was probably the greatest time of my life. You're young, you know, and foolish, and you're starting your career, and you're getting to know audiences. That's the only way. We had a place to start in those days. Nowadays, they take a kid and throw him right out in front of a whole big audience, and you have to sink or swim on your first night. At least in those days, we were out in the, I mean, we'd be here, and then we'd be in Mahanoy City, Pennsylvania, and we'd be in Hazleton, and we'd be in some little Old Orchard Beach, Maine, you know, and then following one of those jobs, we'd open at the Waldorf Astoria. So it was very jarring, but you learned your craft really well. You learned how to perform in front of all audiences, whether they be coal miners in Mahanoy City or, you know, Park Avenue at the Waldorf. And, you know, that's what I came out of when the announcer stepped up, put his hand over his ear and said, "From high atop the Berkeley Hills, overlooking the city by the Golden Gate, it's Russ Morgan and his orchestra, or it's Freddy Martin and his orchestra with Merv Griffin and the Martin Band. Tonight it'll be Merv Griffin and the Merv Tones." Look, there's Jack Sheldon standing over there. Gee, he's out of Benny's band, Stan Kenton's band. Now he's got his own unbelievable band. This is one of the most popular ones on the whole West Coast. So it is coming back. You know, for years they said, oh, big bands are coming back, big band. People were saying, what? There he is. Hey, Jack. 18 years with me, John.
Do you see a return of the music, the big band music, appealing to a younger audience?
Yes, I do.
Is that all?
Well, I do.
You don't do that to a news guy.
Oh, yeah, well, I think, yes, music is coming back. But I don't think it's been gone, though. Has it been gone?
No, he's talking about big bands.
To a younger audience, in a sense, crossing the generational
They love
gap.
it. I have a big band, 18 pieces, 18, 19, I don't know, 20
But when people
pieces.
dance in front of your band, do they touch?
Well, I touch them. I don't know if they...
Terrible guy. Sorry about that, John.
Quite all right.
Yeah, we were very serious here. Where were we? But most of these guys, I mean, there's John Bello up here, you know, Glenn Miller. Most of them played the big band stuff. So it's thrilling for us.
That, in a nutshell, is what I want to cover. Just get a two-shot real quick. On or Sammy Davis.
Do you know that my first night singing with Freddy Martin's band, I came out of San Francisco, I was on radio, so nobody ever saw me, didn't care what I looked like, and I'd lump into the studio now and sing my songs, but it was good. I was billed as America's Romantic Scene Star. When I went with him, our first job was in a theater in Vancouver, and they shut the lights out on the stage because I walked funny. I clumped when I walked. I didn't have a theatrical walk until I got out the microphone and they turned on and I sang. So,
I thank you very much, sir. It was a pleasure.
Good to see you.
Pleasure.
I enjoy the station.
Oh, thank you.
I love
very much.
watching that.
You know,
I like going into cities and watching. I don't watch the network stuff. I like watching that news right there and then.
well, I appreciate that.
And I
very much.
read and I like to read, you know, the press because that's fun too.
But let me tell you, I got such a kick. Last year I had the opportunity to come to the